Cryptic
Yeah,
man,
big A now. What is up,
survive.
RH Max?
No, not
What's
RH
going
Max.
on?
That's the duel.
I see him there. He's in the chat. Well, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, he
okay.
passed the bill. Yeah,
Oh, I get you.
yeah. So what
I know
is
we look a
up,
lot alike.
brother? Well, we're both wearing glasses. Oh, and, oh,
Facts.
you meant you and RH Max. Yeah, yeah. All right, I'll try to stay away from my dad jokes. Hey, looks like a little baby pumping coming in today, or what? Residual
Not well.
effect.
We had ETH is pumping like daddy pumping. With yeah 9% up, 4,600 and change ETH. So I think we're
Yeah,
seeing a delayed reaction on the pulse chain to that.
yeah, yeah. That's what I was thinking. Probably several hours of that, right? Pretty
Yep.
interesting. Last week we had looked at some of the charts, the GRM charts I was talking about, and we had
Hmm.
seen a cross coming on the the Ethereum 111-day moving average across the 350-day, and that happened. And so today's the first day that it's happened. So now I'm looking for confirmation. Meaning at least another day or two above that level, but it opens it up to 5,500 as being the top. So swing traders, and maybe this wouldn't be swing exactly, but traders might take, might set themselves a stop limit or stop loss at the current price or below, and try to target 5,500 for a cool off period, see if that confirms. But it looks good. It looks good. And what we
Yeah, it looks
saw when
awesome.
that happened is the EX followed, man. Woo,
Yep. Yeah.
woo.
Bonded
Now,
liquidity, it'll do that. Did you see
well,
the
yeah,
RH
yeah,
sack bags? They also followed
yeah, of course, yeah, because
very
denominated
nicely.
in ETH. Yeah, this goes. Well, you know what's crazy about that though is we talk about this Hart's law quite a bit, but what we didn't see is PHEX go up the same percentage. It only went about half as far as ETH or the ETH or the EHEX. And I think that starts building the case for how you might see at times EHEX overperforming PX.
Well, for sure. Well, there's less liquidity, so it doesn't take as much to pump it. That's going to be a big part of the math on that one.
Yeah, I just know over the last few days, last week, people have been like asking themselves that question, like, what's going on with EHEX? Why isn't it going up as much, right? Well, that's the other side of the coin, right? Sometimes
Yep,
it doesn't follow. It kind of delayed, and it can be excessive, or more extreme, I should say. The swings that we'll see on that.
for sure. Yeah, and that goes
So
for everything that's paired with them as well, right? Like we see, ICOSA go up and down with EHEX and so on and so forth, but it's very much about the liquidity. Easier up, easier down with low liquidity, right?
yeah, 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 exactly. I mean, I saw it go. I saw it go, and then I was like, wow, look at this. Look at this. And then I looked at the charts just before we came on. I didn't do a lot of research, but it seemed like Pulse did a shift in price, and I don't know how you see it. What do you think about when you see the green or the red? To
Like
make
when
you
I see what, like just like the pulse price bouncing, I think it's very much tied to the ETH price is like the low hanging fruit, but then it's the speculation, right? So we have our four cores, five if you want to include EHEX, and people speculate on which one's going to go up the most or first, and so on and so forth.
yeah, yeah.
I think they're all going to have their day myself, right? I think
Yeah, well,
so.
what's really weird is I look. So I would urge everybody to do this experiment, right? If you get a chance, you haven't done it, do this experiment. When you see your favorite asset, whatever it is, doesn't matter what it is, and you're like, look, it's going up, it's green. Go look at the pulse price and see what happened. And then when it's red, and you're like, oh god damn it, everything sucks. Go look at the pulse price, see what it did. See if you can catch the difference, because sometimes with no volume at all, your price in USD is changing. and it flips those colors back and forth, and it's like a big old science experiment, right? Psychology experiment.
Yep. I think Paul seems to be the most stable of the cores to me in a lot of ways. Like it goes up the least, goes down the least in a short time frame, and that's again probably a lot about the liquidity. But as far as the safe, like I'm looking for safety, moving from a meme coin or something. Not that I'm big into that. I'm most likely to move into Pulse. How about you?
Well, yeah, it's the lifeblood of the system, you know.
Yeah,
So I
it's
mean,
the ratios,
you're gonna
like
see
not
people.
ratios, but slippage usually too is moving into Pulse.
Yeah, and you're well, you already said it, and Richard's brought this up a bunch of times. The best liquidity is the pulse liquidity. That's the best. Doesn't mean there isn't a place for the others. There is a place for everything, but the best liquidity is pulse liquidity. So that's for
Yeah.
sure. You know.
It's pretty much
Our,
in order. I think it's Pulse, then PulseX, then Ink, then Hex, right? Like high to low liquidity.
yeah, 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 yeah. I think yeah. In terms of liquidity, though, I see more volume. It all depends on the asset. I do see more volume on Hex than I do uh, affecting pairs I look at than PulseX and Ink. But yeah, I mean, they're all right up there. So our HMax has a request for you. Pump his bags fast. Pump them. Pump them.
I'm on it, man. I'm on it.
No, dude, RH Max is talking crazy talk now. Good 400x big
400x.
man pump.
That
And
math is
I
impossible.
I think the entire world would melt down if that was to happen. It could
I think
happen.
the math
It
is
could.
it is possible. The 400x
Yeah.
could be a thing, right? Like it
Yeah.
there's not that much liquidity on any of these items that, if $1 billion went into any one of them, I think you'd be in that 400x plus territory.
Yeah, it's the issue with it, well, of course, always with this stuff, right? Is what are you going to be able to actually realize? You're actually going to realize a 400x, or is the liquidity going to be there? Is your timing going to be there? So
Well, if you only had $10 in and your $10 did a 400x, I think you could blow out $4,000. It's totally feasible.
can you hear me? Okay, fast.
I can. Can you hear me?
I
You're
can.
maybe a touch quiet. You could be louder.
Yeah, I'm time for another one of these headsets. Or I'll end up having to get another one. Woohoo! All right. Thanks, Crypto Kong. I saw that. Shell Fox is saying a 555x. Let's do that. Crypto graphics
Okay.
just moderately at 400x.
No problem.
It would be moderately satisfied with a 400x. Please, that'd be kind of
People like to
crazy.
talk about these X's, but I think the game right now is probably to put yourself in a position where less X's would be good enough. And then if you get more X's, that's great.
More X's is great. Let's take a look at. I'm going to show you something here because it ties into this, but gives me a good opportunity. Let me segue over to this new crypto story site that I put up. I'll show you what I was doing. So I put up this
Nice.
new YouTube to collect stories about crypto, and it's not specific to anything. Just PulseChain. It could be any crypto, any. This is kind of like a artistic effort in progress right now, called CFY for crypto FEM. But I've got a number of submissions now that have come in, everything from a little bit of fiction to true story type stuff. Now, one of the ones you may have seen this story before, or seen different stories like that. I'm not going to play this. I'm just going to bring it up. But the $1.2 billion pizza, and I think it ties into this conversation, right? So, back in 2010, when those 40,000 Bitcoin or whatever or 100,000 Bitcoin were used to buy the $40 worth of pizza. All right. It's worth $1.2 billion today. Somewhere in that order.
Right. Yeah, I've heard that story.
And so looking backwards, you'd be like, this is crazy. You know, I mean, why didn't they just hold on to it? Because it's times just like this when we're in crypto. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, of course, with Bitcoin and, versus PulseChain and Ethereum and all that stuff. But I mean, it's the same mental argument, right? I mean, we see 150x and people sell out and they drop, right? And they don't stay in, right? And so maybe, time is a factor here, time in
Yeah.
the market is a factor, and it
And
certainly
like the
turned out to be.
$1.2 billion pizza isn't one cycle worth of pizza, right? Like the guy sold Bitcoin at $20 or whatever to buy pizza. That's more than one cycle ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, that's pretty interesting, I thought. So yeah, and for anybody who's interested in that channel, I'll drop the link over here. We can see the CFY channel is just a place for people to be able to share
How
information.
can they get stuff up there if they want to post their stories? How does it work?
Yeah, there's a Reddit now for it, and
Ooh, nice.
and an X address. So if somebody's really interested in doing that, and it's kind of a little experiment we're running to see, how much more information we can get out there. Get more attention and value into crypto. This is currently not crypto project related, as in tokens or anything. But that was the very first question somebody had: is, hey, let's make a token. I was like, I don't know if we want to do a token, but maybe in the future. NFTs, of course, a good tie-in for some of the stuff. It's gone in a couple different directions so far. As far as like some fiction. I put some things up like the history of Ethereum, right? Some of us don't know what happened with Ethereum.
Totally.
And so some things like that. And I've got a couple of pieces that people are submitting that are fiction related, like science-y fiction-y, that type of stuff. And then shout out to Helgo. Helgo's got a couple of, it's a token on PulseChain, has got a couple of stories in there now. One of them having to do with the origin story of Helgorian, and then another one for a different chapter, a different piece of the Helgo protocol. So we've got that going on. How about with you, my
We'll
friend?
see where it goes.
Yeah,
like
I figured.
What kind of traffic do you expect? On the on the YouTube page, right? How many views is it going to get?
I think millions and millions. Well, that's my story. I'm just going to stick to that, man. I mean,
millions.
fake it. You got to fake it till you make it, right? So I think we'll have millions and billions and billions of views. Yeah, but seriously, for somebody might like that type of thing, I don't know where to go though. I don't know if it'll just end up being, just like some random stuff, or really pick up. I do have some people who volunteered to kind of like participate in a small writers group for feedback and information, but I said just another side effort. I didn't, just get started on something.
Go.
What's happening in the world of Fast Abdul?
I've been streaming and talking about Richard's posts and things like that. He had some interesting posts this week. I don't know what all of them mean. Did you see the one that was the luggage security lock?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's weird. Here, let me share it.
You can pull it up. Let's pull it up and look at it. I didn't see that. Dude, I need like an additional like Richard whisperer for me, because I can't.
Well, it comes down to that sometimes, because it's some sort of artsy IQ test to understand what he's talking about on occasion. There it is. So he talks about how he can see how to pick this lock just looking at it, and kind of explains to you how you could pick this luggage security lock just by looking at it, and how it's not very secure. So I'm wondering if is he just pondering about the nature of like luggage security locks, or is he like, does this have something to do with crypto? Like, is he talking about exploits? Is he talking about, PulseChain, or is he just hanging out at an airport?
Well,
which is interesting in itself.
I think 32 is PDI.
Is it?
I don't know. Well, wait. 3 + 2 is 5. So
That's
it's 5, 5,
true.
5.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't know.
that.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. That looks like a real lock. I don't know if it's
Or maybe he's just
a fake.
traveling, which is interesting itself. Like, what if Richard's on his way to, I don't know, to Florida?
Yeah, maybe. Could be something like that. Well, what did the
Yeah.
rest of the post say?
Well, you want to read? You actually want to read it.
No, I don't know. Maybe.
So
Maybe.
there we
I don't
go.
know.
I can visually hack the lock on some luggage by just looking at it. If you pull it to the side a bit and rotate, you can see that one part of the wheel where it meets the bar it's rotating on isn't as shiny as the rest. Helps you have a nice light so you can. It helps to have a nice light so you can see the gap. Anyway, rotate all the wheels until they're on the same dark part. Then rotate them all together at once and try. After you spun the dark parts in again a bit, you'll have found the combination. Then you can reset the combination if you want. I just think he's talking about airport security locks. I don't
Hmm.
think it's anything else.
I don't know. Wait, he might be talking about the keys to Hexaco. No?
Could be. Maybe they're in a suitcase somewhere.
Let's see. Hey, you see, Sami was he picked out the first letters of like I don't know if it was random sentences, but a bunch of sentences, and it spelled out P die with a P E die, and he was like,
Yeah,
"Hey, this is prophecy.
it never ends.
This is prophecy." There we go. Right off we go. What do you nice people out in the chat have to say? Anything going on, chat? We got anything over here?
Yeah.
Duke of
Ask
Booze
us
is
your
cheering.
questions.
I'm cheering. I'm cheering for you, Duke of Booze. Woo-hoo. All right, let's see. RH Max, I remember you mentioning a calendar for community events, etc. Was that just a concept or something that's actually currently up and running? I don't know. He's in the chat. Maybe he'll answer for that.
I don't think there is a calendar for all community events. It's not a bad concept though. We do have some community events upcoming. We have the Pulse Chain conference hosted by Matty Allen starting on Friday. I know you'll be there. I'll be there, and then right after that, so it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday is Pulse Chain conference, and then starting Monday is the RH Max's Week of Hex, where there'll be 5 days of Hex streaming. I suspect
I've
you
been
may
I've
be
been
there
a
for some of those
terrible
too.
I've been a terrible supporter of both these things. Man, I haven't talked to either of those guys specifically about anything. I'm just gonna kind of
Well,
wing it, I guess.
you're on the schedule. You're the second speaker on the first day of the conference, I think. So
Yeah, I saw that. I got to figure out what I'm doing for them. I don't know if I'm on with 7 or if I'm separate with 7. For that.
it kind of looked like you were after 7, just the
So you
way
see what I
with the
mean?
way the schedule's laid out.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move to this next comment. This is a good one, Shellbox. Hex is going to do a 555. That would be that's my prophecy. We're gonna see a 555X, baby. There you go. We could do that, right? What would that do for Hex? What's Hex price at now? Do you know? I'll look and see.
Which Hex?
Oh, I'm gonna talk about the real Hex. Hex on
Well,
PulseChain.
in
Nobody get
that
mad.
case, it's
Okay. Don't get
1.2 cents.
don't get frosty. It's 1.248. Let's say 0.01248 times 555. That gets
Yeah,
us to $6.90, which is a
almost
pretty
$7.
interesting number by itself. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
both factors,
If you
threes
add
everywhere.
another 5
Hey,
to that,
so
if it's 5555, then it would get you to 69.
I know. Oh man. Oh man. All right, I'm with you. I can take it. Shell Fox, I'll do it with you. 5555. I can do it, or 555. All right, let's see. I wonder if those OG Bitcoin addresses sold into Ethereum at the bottom. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't been tracking any of that stuff. So I assume that some of them may have, right? Some people have taken the trade. But I think you're referring to the potential that a wallet that may or may not be owned by somebody we know may have some of that OG Bitcoin and swapped it into Ethereum, and then they're going to come do something later.
That'd be something.
Shell Fox was saying could be, or maybe the locked forked assets. CEXs are holding, maybe. All right, Benjamin.
That's another one of interest today. Richard posted, for I don't know, second or third time, he posted about PWBTC. So WBTC copied to PulseChain. So of course there'll be conspiracy theories about that and what it means. I think he's advertising world's biggest airdrop again to get get people to come over and sell it basically on PulseChain. So he says,
because they might stay. They might stay.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
well,
it's tough, right? I mean, people are going to be upset about it no matter what we do, but I don't know what other people thought. I always knew, we talked about it on streams, right? That the free coins are a giveaway. They're a giveaway. And so my risk with the giveaway when I bought them is that I'm putting value into these LPs that can then be extracted, right? Because there's somebody that, what am I going to have? I'm going to have 3 Bitcoin or something, around Bitcoin, right? And somebody out there's got 1,000 of them, and they come over the chain. Right? I'm wiped out, right? So I always knew that was kind of like the game, and that would be volatile and all the rest, right? So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if some people come over and now sell their wrapped Bitcoin. Makes sense, right?
That's the world's biggest airdrop advertising concept, right? So it's not terrible advertising when the thing is $900, right? I looked earlier today and it was about $900. So if you're an ETH whale, you come over, and what are you going to sell into? You could sell USDC. You could also sell into Pulse, all right, or another asset you like. So I could see it having a overall positive marketing effect if people actually pick up on that.
Did the price react to his post? I saw some smart asset questions and answers.
It reacted positively to his post. Which is not intuitive to me, but yeah, it went from $800 to $900 basically.
Well, let me tell you, just like PDI has a set supply, so does, at least to my understanding at this point, and PDI because they fixed the thing, right? The wrapped Bitcoin, right? It has a limited number of tokens. It's capped, right? No new ones being made on PulseChain because it's a copy of the wrapped Bitcoin, and so it's locked in. Now, somebody with security information, get back to us and tell us more about that if there's some sort of security thing. But without the concern of somebody doing something with the keys and printing and doing something crazy, without all that type of concern, now it's a set supply, and it's a very small supply, dude.
Right? Yeah, it'll always be smaller than on Ethereum.
Yeah, it's a couple 100,000. It's a couple 100,000.
Richard's mentioned in the past that there are admin keys for wrapped Bitcoin, and that I think it would have to be the team, the wrapped Bitcoin team from Ethereum would have to come over and mint it, which is I suspect they're unlikely to do. They probably won't even ever acknowledge this existence, but they're minimal contract risk in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay.
Very little risk in selling it. Selling it is risk free.
There's no risk. You get free. You get your whatever, right? But yeah, but like dolphin position on that, or whale positions, like 2,000 of those wrapped Bitcoins. A not whale positions around $200 or 200. Excuse me. 200 of them. Well, anyways, but all I was saying is, hey, listen, it can go up, right? Based on what we know. It can go up. Enough people get crazy about it. I mean, there's still some people talking about it going to parity with regular Bitcoin. That would be insane.
It would be. I think there must be a price though, right? Like a price where the people on Ethereum who have these copies will wake up and take notice and then come over and take their profit. So
maybe if they're paying attention, they'd have to somehow know about it. But yeah.
But once you get to, let's say, let's give it a silly number that's would be good, 10x from now, $10,000, right? So or even $15,000, the same price as the Bitcoin low. There could be some guy who's already sold his Bitcoin on Ethereum for 130 grand or something, and he can come over and be like, oh, I had 10 Bitcoin, right? Now that's $15,000, or sorry, $150,000 on PulseChain. Like, why would he not take that?
Well, I think that's the whole point, right? About
Yeah,
advertising. You can actually advertise this, by the fact that the price is going up. The price is going up, and more people will be interested in coming over the train. All right, let's go see what Benjamin had to say. Benjamin was saying, yeah, this is true, dude. The last couple of days, this is again, we got to keep your eye on the long game, right? Because I think you do, because he's saying, hey, the energy and the vibe of PulseChain has completely transformed into insane positivity. Great to see. You're right. It has, right? Green candles. Now, I kind of wish
yeah.
people weren't so freaking nuts and squirrely, but they are. I mean, that's kind of how people are. What are you going to do?
Facts.
But I mean, for you personally, you can do is kind of like practice being smooth, right? Because this stuff does go up and down. I mean, we heard a lot of people saying a few weeks ago, "No, it's all over," and now it's not all over, and it's like, okay, so try to manage those emotions a little bit. All right, Hex Gang, Gangsta, 1997. Huh, I didn't know it was around then. That might have been. Maybe something else. But Gangsta 1997 saying HEX is pumping. We liking that. It's cooking. All right, here we go. RH Max sharing some alpha. I heard an idea recently that was interesting. Something to the effect of PulseChain SAC should stake the ETH and perpetually buy core coins with the yield. Yeah, I've heard that too. People
Yeah,
talking
he
about
could
that.
have been doing that from day one of having that ETH though, and he never did. So seems odd he would start now.
Yeah, but you know what we could do?
What could we
We
do?
could stake. We can stake and earn rewards and buy what we like.
We could. Yeah.
We
I'll
could do
take
that.
my $1 billion worth of ETH and stake it and buy PulseChain. How about
Yeah,
that?
in a way I do this. I was kind of like in my head trying to think, is this really a super positive? I guess it's positive, right? But I do my LPX validating, and I just take the 50% of the rewards and buy stuff that I like to support, which could be cores, right? I do a couple other things like that too, but just the regular DCA stuff. But
Yeah. I do my farming things, and that's like, that's my wild card money to buy things I'm interested in on PulseChain, right? And most of it goes right back into PulseChain, I assure you. So
yeah,
that is one way to look at. We could all be the OA and all buy up the chart. But the
we are
RH Max
all
is
the
right.
way.
Like that'd be a lot of money if that whole 166,000 ETH was rolled into staking or running validators effectively on Ethereum. Like that'd be quite a bit of just monthly income that could pump the chain forever. Not that
Yeah,
boring of an idea.
yeah, yeah. I can't presume to understand what they're doing with and what the setup is. So, but yeah, it's certainly an idea that's there. Because like I said, it's kind of like armchair quarterbacking, right? Backseat driving. I don't know exactly what the constraints are, right? If there are any. And so I just yeah, I like the idea too. Be good to see that kind of pumpage. But yeah. Yeah, Hex Farmer saying, I wish we could add to the SAC funds. Fifth place sucks. Yeah, it's funny you say that, Farmer. I thought the same thing when I read it. I was like, oh man, we'll never be up there. This competitive race. But here's how we beat that. We beat that by getting that and more into the bridge, right? And you get the bridge on there saying, that the bridge is number 2 holder of ETH, right? That would be a way to go after that and measure that success. Crypto.
I saw a post from Johnny Chaos I want to find here about the bridge that I think is pretty relevant to what people think. Take a look at this.
What are we doing?
So
Yeah.
it's the bridge as we see it, the path to heaven, and then the bridge as other people, like new people, see it, right? Is like, sketchy
Scary.
bridge.
Yeah.
Like,
Look at that.
whoa, I don't want to put my money in this thing. That's a problem that's probably worth fixing.
Oh,
How can we do that?
yeah, it is so real. Well, there's some things coming along, right? I mean, we of course we know about Xerox Coast being out there for onboarding. That's a way to at least bring USD value in or other
Yeah.
fiat value in.
Yeah, we have Liberty Swap,
You have
OX Coast.
Liberty Swap, all that stuff. It's just not. It's going to take some time still. It's not going to be easy. It's still going to take time because for you to be able to have push button, kind of like Robinhood experiences, there's more infrastructure and middlemen. As much as we hate all that, but that's what it is, right? Because how do you set this stuff up and scale it the way we want it scaled, right? I mean, like I'm not doing this, but if somebody called me on the phone and they were like, "Hey, I'm going to send you Venmo and you send me a million Pulse," I could do that, right? I'm not going to do that, probably against the law where I am. But but I mean, it's functionally you can do it, right? I mean, like you do this stuff instantaneous. So why isn't it that way? Because there's just all these moving pieces in the middle, right?
Well, I think like part of the problem is just cosmetic, right? Like I think the bridge page, how people access the bridge, like maybe third party front ends for the bridge, like could all be improved to make it much more appealing.
Oh yeah. Well, you saw somebody made a comment about that when Richard was looking for advice, not advice, but like changes to make and updates to
Yep.
make. I mean, I got into the habit of not trusting my URLs, right? And
Yep.
so what I was doing is I go to the main page. And then when they made that update a few months ago, I was like, where the hell's the bridge? I'm clicking here, I'm clicking there. I'm getting these weird pages that are popping up, and I'm more like I'm not familiar with them, so I don't know what the hell they are. And I'm like, well, is this like, what is this? Is this like, is this a scam site? Did I end up in the wrong place? Anyways, I don't know if you saw the same thing, but yeah, somebody posted that it brings you to a third party bridge when you click it. And I had to go like one step deeper and read the text. And in the text, it said, if you're an experienced user and you can handle the PulseChain bridge, click here. I clicked this original bridge, but
Right.
it took me like 5 or 6 minutes to figure it out. That
But I
was
think
that
like
was
it's all about the new people right now. Like I'm not worried about you or Johnny Chaos and your bridging needs. You guys will figure it out. It's like, the guy who gets the mailer and he's like, "Oh, I want to do this." Like I don't want him to have to click the IPFS my pinata link and like it all, like it should be a more seamless experience. Like, and it's not centralized crypto, so it's not going to be as seamless as Binance or whatever, but you know, uh, it should feel comfortable. Like, oh, this looks like a safe place versus this looks like a home job.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see that too. Right. I just look at, of course, I was looking at it from my point of view. I'm just saying is if I'm having trouble, I imagine what somebody new might be thinking when they're looking at this stuff. All right. Hey, Hex Wizard 369. Thank you for that super chat. I will get a cigar, and you are welcome.
Nice.
We're
A,
gonna keep we're gonna
a
keep
$20
serving.
cigar too. That's a decent cigar, right?
Well, after YouTube, it's a $12 cigar, but yeah,
Oh man.
but it's okay. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, buddy. I do. I do. All right, and then NJ Dub is saying, don't really see the stretch between send your coins off sex to your wallet or using something like Liberty Swap. Yeah, to be honest, different levels of risk, right? That's all. I mean, just by the fact that they're different entities, they're
Yeah.
different third-party risks. Richard did a real pretty good post last week about that, just kind of going through the things you can do to mitigate. Besides, don't make a mistake and have like a standard method that you use, maybe even a checklist to check everything off. Split up wallets, etc. I mean, for some people, yeah, it's a big deal to lose $100 to split it up, you know, and or use multiple addresses, test transactions, all that stuff, right? Just to be doing it. And then, yeah, of course, you know how I feel about hardware wallets. I'm pro hardware wallets. But
Yeah, as am I. I think it's really the only thing I can recommend to people. Like, I know there's other air-gapped computers and all this kind of stuff, but when you're talking to the average user, it's like, no, get a Trezor. Just get one directly from the Trezor website. There's no other way to get it. That's it. Don't buy it at a garage sale.
Yep. And Johnny Chaos has given us the My Pinata conspiracy theory. Woo! The whole reason we got the My Pinata in the first place is because of the random pinata theory. And that is that once in a while, somebody's going to pop one of those pinatas of hex stakes and just sprinkle that hex all over the community. Could be
I don't
something,
feel
Johnny.
like My Pinata is like a strong URL as far as, this is something I should trust. I remember when it happened the first time, I was like instinctively concerned about clicking on My Pinata.
Well, yeah, that, and of course the 33,000 digits afterwards, right? They give you the address, right? The encoded stuff, because I don't know what all that means per se.
I know it's like the mostly visual recognition stuff, but like, those kind of, and I don't know what the right answer is. Like, we want to maintain a certain level of cyberpunk decentralization, but like the new people should, they should see a pretty bridge like the one that Johnny showed on the left instead of the one on the right.
Yeah. Well, shit, man. Some people haven't even driven up the street to get to the point where they can see the two bridges, right? You got to get them in the same part of town first and get them over to the river so they could actually see that they want to cross and then pick one of those bridges. But yeah, pretty funny with that. All right. I see Helios out there, Ted Nelson. What else we want to talk about? You guys have a topic? Throw it in the chat. We'll try to go after it. I know I'm just like big topic of conversation every week has been, is it over? Is it over? It's not over. It's over. It's not over. It's over. It's not over. It's not over, guys. Nothing's over yet. We won't know for sure because always a lagging. When I say over, I mean the bull run. It's always a lagging indicator when we figure it out that it's over. But it doesn't appear like we're anywhere near. We're like months away. So I know
we don't have euphoria yet, right? Like everybody's got their pants on. Nobody's running around naked.
Fast. This time's different. You got to listen to me. It's different this time.
I've heard that. I've heard that
a lot too. Well, I think the earliest I've been hearing is, hey, next month is the end. But it doesn't really appear that it could happen. Yeah, it could happen. We could have some sort of like violent, upswing, and we get some sort of blow off top, and it's so big that all the weak-handed Jeets just jeet the hell out of that and sell the top. I mean, I guess we all would, right? Because it would have gone so high so fast, but it sets you up for a potential second top. Like a double top going to 26 if something weird like that happened. You also have tax season coming up here at the end of the year, so we may see a double top. Maybe we'll see a topish in November, December.
Yeah,
we could. Well, one scenario is it's over, right? We get some sort of like Christmas surprise, and then by the end of January, it's over, and we're following some sort of other trajectory. And a different scenario is, which probably more likely with all the changes have happened, but more like a May, June type of deal. Maybe something like that.
I like the sound of that. May, June works for me.
I think people, guys, if you're listening to this, have a plan about what you need to do, and just set up your plan so you're able to do multiple things. Like, it'd be a shame for us to get to a top on Pulse, and you're like, no, I think we're going to get one more X, and then you don't take profit, but that's the real top, right? And because you can take some off the top and be, whatever it is. I'm just like generically saying, you don't need to actually, feel the pain coming back down. Have a plan for what you need, right? And try to execute on it. Keep a hodl bag. Be prepared for a second top if that's what you're doing. It
I
really
like
depends.
the 10% on it every double. I just think that sounds like a reasonable concept that people could understand. And then you never sell out
I
with that
believe that
plan.
so much. I do 110%. I'm 110% with
On every
you.
double, you sell 110%.
That's right. Actually, that way actually might work if you're going off the original. No, no, no. I wouldn't be. I'd be going to go negative. Well, that probably is makes sense. I probably am going negative. But yeah, the 10% mode isn't bad. I know some people
Yeah.
fool around with 1%, 2%, well,
You can
whatever
make,
it
yeah,
is.
it could be 5%, 1%, but it's some sort of minor taking profit without selling your whole bag too early. But you won't be in a situation where you sold none of it when you're too late, and you will be too late. Like nobody's going to hit the top, the exact top. You're going to be too late, or you're going to be too early. So if you catch some of it on the way up and some of it on the way down, that's not terrible.
Yeah, yeah. Here's a good comment. Yeah, I think you're right about getting some of it on the way up and some on the way down. Here's a comment from Hex Wizard 369. It's ETH season right now. It is, appears to be. We will pump last, meaning PulseChain will pump last. I hope the hex price looks more attractive when these devices hit the mailboxes. I'm glad you brought up the devices. So I agree
Yeah,
with the first part that we're going to see some pumpage. Guys, I would not fade the hex, man. I would not fade the hex because just kind of like a general statement, we've just been seeing some things that lead me to believe it has like store of value quality rotations coming up into it, but we'll see. So keep an eye on that. Well, let's talk about the devices. Devices are coming soon. We don't know when. I mean, I'm not plugged in right now into the website. You might be watching it. You watching the chat on this to know
I
when the
am. There's no definitive date. But like I think September that devices could start hitting mailboxes seems possible. Based on what I've heard about shipping times and things like that. That there could be, like the first of multiple containers landing and getting sorted and mailed out could be happening in September. So,
very
it won't
nice.
have zero effect. And I agree with I agree that if the hex price looks good on that day, as well as the pulse price, pulse X, et cetera, that it would be good for the mailer. It would be more effective if people look and see green candles, in my opinion.
Yeah, of course, of course. Timing that is impossible though, right? Because everybody will get stuff at different times. But yeah, I mean the same range. What I think I said this last week. What I hope to get the message out to everybody on this is listen. As community members, if you consider yourself to be a community member and you want to support this type of an effort, support the effort. The devices are not aimed for you. They're
At all.
they're aimed they're aimed for other people. They're being sent out for other people. It's likely some sort of a marketing gimmicky thing, right? It is not. I'm pretty sure it is not a device that changes water into gold, right, or something like that. And I'm pretty goddamn sure it's not 200,000 hardware wallets, filled with the crypto, right? Too much
Seems
of a
unlikely.
risk if that was the case, right? So it's not anything like that. I mean, you got to be thinking marketing and what might go out for marketing and how that might appeal to other people. And what I would really wish to see is people kind of get behind and support the idea that somebody's putting up the millions of dollars to do this and support it, and that we not slide back, just be more forward leaning into this thing. So,
Yeah.
anyways, that's
And
my
don't
thinking.
don't don't sell into the price if you want to support it, right? Like if green candles are part of the marketing and we get green candles going into September when these devices are going out, like that's going to bring in new users like nothing else paired with the devices. And this it could be proof of concept, and maybe we get 10 million of these things that go out before Christmas. That'd be cool.
It'd be very cool. Be very cool. I think they would be awesome stocking stuffers. I think they will be. All right.
Could
I
be.
really don't know. I really don't have any, I'm not confirmed that I even know what it is. I'm just saying, whatever it is, it could be a nice stocking stuffer. All right. Johnny Chaos is saying new conspiracy theory. I like conspiracy theories. Rumor has it Richard, aka Richard Hart, is actually behind Hex, PulseX, and Inc., and he would like to see them go up.
I don't think you can prove that, Johnny.
Hmm. Hmm.
but he
Yeah,
seems
well,
to
I
like
think I
those
think
ones.
I think we can prove that he's behind Hex, Pulse, and Pulse Hex.
We can, yeah, we probably can.
But we can't prove what actually is doing the pumpages. But yeah, but I think he was being. I think he was just that was a joke, Fast. I don't know if you got that.
Chances are,
So,
but
anyway,
he's bought his own tokens before. He might do so again. It wouldn't be that weird.
no, no, and I do think we'll see some entities doing something that help the price and whatnot. But we really need to be working on. I think I think for myself anyway, my own sanity. I'm working on my own strategies where, yeah, it's nice if somebody else pumps, but I would like to be able to do well without relying on Fast Abdul coming in and pumping my token, as the guy that I hang it all on. And if he doesn't do it, then I'm sunk. More about trying to find things. If I am degen and being more in that range, things that might naturally do it. Maybe I'm actually promoting stuff, that type of thing. I don't know. I like the passive stuff more than anything else, but or semi-passive. But yeah. And
Yeah, I
Johnny
think
says he's
the way
actually
you
for the.
do it is not really passive, probably by most people's standards.
Yeah, I would agree with. That's why I started out with it being passive. It's not really passive. Passive is when I keep something in my wallet and it just shows up. I don't even have to click a button. What will you do for a bribe, John? I don't know. What will you do for a bribe, Fast? All right, Johnny Cass says, "I know when." Period. I know when. Oh, he knows when. I am
Oh, good.
from the future. Richard sent me back in time after making tons of money from his SAC address. He built a time. Oh yeah, I run on sentence. He built a time machine. Sarcasm, a free service hour. Yes, we know. We know. I did. I offer that service too, but nobody appreciates it. Yeah, I do
Indeed.
that.
It's the highest form of humor. Not everybody gets sarcasm, so you're better off with puns. People will get puns.
Oh, I
That's the
see what
lowest
you mean.
form of humor.
I see what you did there. You've been saying Fast will do it for a bribe. Let me ask you about bribery. I want to know about bribery.
Sure. Yeah.
Tell
I'm
me about.
uh I'm just putting the finishing touches on Bribery. So it's viewable by the public. We're kind of in open beta right now. So bribery.io. And you can make bribes and take bribes on your for 2 fucks and fucks votes. I have a couple little visual things I want to fix, and then I'll start shilling it in earnest, reaching out to people who I think want to make bribes and telling
Shilling.
everybody they should take their bribes.
No.
Sorry, say again.
Yeah, you'll be shilling. You'll be
Yeah,
shilling it.
I'll be shilling
Well,
when as soon as I feel comfortable with a couple little visual things that I want fixed, just with the display of bribe values and stuff like that. But it works and it's up and running. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting addition. Like there'll be a place where you can take legit on-chain bribes on PulseChain. I think it'll be especially interesting if more DAOs open up, particularly if PulseX were to become a DAO. I think there'd probably be some people interested in bribes on that one, and we would encompass that bribe market.
you'd figure that out too. So, in regards to the 2 fucks, right? If I have 2 fucks, can I use 2 fucks and like lock it and then offer that up for sale for a bribe? Is that what it is?
Well, when you lock your 2 fucks, you're able to vote, and the voting cycle is once every 2 weeks. So you'd be able to sell your votes, not your actual tokens. You get to keep your tokens and then use them again 2 weeks later. So you never lose your tokens. You just lose your votes for that 2 week period of time in return for a bribe to vote for the pool somebody else wants you to vote for. So from
Now, what
the bribe perspective, it's very safe. Like they're never putting tokens up; they're only putting bribes up in return for like USDC or Pulse, right?
Right, right. Well, did you have what happens if nobody bribes me?
If nobody bribes you, then like you can only it's like a bribe marketplace. So you get to look and see what bribes are available. You get to choose which bribe to take. So if you look at the screen and there's no bribes available, then you just vote wherever you want. That's fine. But if you look and there's 10 different bribe options on which pool to vote for, you could take the highest bribe, or you could take the bribe for the pool you would have voted for anyway. Kind of
Oh,
like have your
okay.
cake and eat it too, right? So it's it's a marketplace where the seller, the person who has the votes, they get to choose who to sell to. It's not just the highest bidder; it's the bidder you want to sell to, which could be the highest bidder. You get to choose whether you want to take the highest bribe, or you want to take the bribe for something you maybe would have voted for anyway.
Hmm. All right. So the process is I can't offer up to be bribed. Somebody has to offer a bribe first, and then I could decide to take it.
That's right. So if you have
And
votes, you have to look through the people who are offering a bribe, right? And decide whether to do that. Now, and if there's not a bribe you want to take, like either there's no bribe or there's not a bribe you want to take because you don't want to vote for whatever that thing is. Oh, I don't like that one. Then you can just keep your votes and you use them yourself for that 2-week
mm,
voting period. But if there is a bribe you want to take, you take it, and you get your votes back in 2 weeks, and you can, take that bribe again if it's still there, or you can take a different bribe, or it's pretty safe on the bribe side. The bribers, they have to do a little more math because they have to decide how much to pay for, per vote and stuff like that. So I'll be talking to those people personally, but it's the concept of like you stake your $2, you're making a little bit of yield, and you get to vote for which pool pays the most yield, or take a bribe so somebody else can decide where your vote goes. It just
right.
adds another layer to it. And this has been very successful on Ethereum. There's huge bribe markets pulling in millions of dollars. So I think it could be on PulseChain too.
Mhm.
It's not for the new guys, but we have enough smart guys that'll figure this out.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm interested to see how it develops. Say, for everybody watching may not know, on the TwoFlux protocol, what you're able to do is lock TwoFlux tokens. You lock those tokens up. You can then
Yep.
vote for something, and the votes help divvy out the rewards that people get on a daily basis, hourly basis, or whatever. And
Yep.
so the more votes your pool has, the more APR there is for a given liquidity situation, for a pool. And so this is an add-on to that. Instead of somebody just going and buying more TwoFlux directly themselves for whatever reason, they can instead pay somebody, to allow them to use their votes for 2 weeks or whatever. So
Yep. And
that's
it,
pretty
it
interesting.
kind of gives littler guys, because like these kind of DAO situations, sometimes they're a whale game where like a big guy controls a lot of the votes, but now a little guy has something to do with his votes where he's like, maybe I can't move this pool that much, but I could take $10 from, Crispy if he puts up a bribe. All right. So it's, it just adds more utility for more users and, something to do with your tokens apart from selling them, right?
Yeah. Yes. Always more stuff to do with tokens. All right.
I like this idea. I think our chat Max is right.
Well, if there isn't one, there will be one, I'm sure, right? I'm sure that. Why wouldn't they do one, right? Or maybe it's
Yeah.
just simply going to be stay within brand and be like, so this is what our HMAX is saying. Maybe they'll just do PulseChain.com. But I think the onboarding device will have a landing page, maybe new, or use PulseChain official site. Go Real DeFi was created because IPFS is confusing and crazy long. Weird URLs aren't good for onboarding. Yep, concur with that. Yeah, so that
Go
I
Real
think
DeFi.
good.
Is that a site that he made? It sounds
Mhm.
familiar.
Yeah, he'll have to explain what that is because I don't.
GoRealDeFi.com. Oh yeah, this is it.
You throw it up there and show us all.
Yep.
No. I
Okay,
can't
I'm
believe
showing
we
that.
have 50,000 people watching you right now.
Wow.
I made that up,
Only
but
50,000. A little
it would be
disappointing.
good. We're getting close to 555. That would be good.
So this
All right.
this takes me to this GoRealDeFi.com. It takes me here. I got links to a bridge. When I press that, it pops up with just links to bridge.pulsechainapp.com, which looks familiar. Everybody should double check their links. I have not. We got the Explorer, we got the Exchange. Looks very utilitarian.
Launchpad bring you to pump tires or somewhere else?
Launchpad. It brings me somewhere else.
Okay.
Oh, it brings me to launchpad.pulsechain.com, which talks to me about being a validator.
Oh yeah, that's you just kind of like a misnomer because they did call. Yeah, I see Launchpad and I'm thinking about Launchpads, right?
Yeah, I was thinking pump tires too. But yeah, it
But
brings me to
in the
validators.
validator world, you have a Launchpad section. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, got it.
There's some other buttons on the side here: projects, faucets, founder.
Dude, that pump.tires thing is the way it is really a huge impact. That's
Oh yeah,
I have
doing
a
volume.
much different even the abandoned tokens are really useful for the chain because you figure every time
They have burnt
somebody
liquidity, right? So it's not
yeah
like they
well
never go to zero.
yeah I mean it's just like it's just there, you know. So all right. Oh, Hex Farmer, this is worth talking about. Saying this real quick. He's just saying, hey, thank you to Maddie and Max or Max and Maddie for keeping the conferences going. 100%, dude. Listen, guys,
Yep.
this volunteer stuff sucks, right? And I want to get into arguments about people arguing about, costs and how, sponsorships and all that. Well, let's take a step back. This stuff is tough to do. And what ends up happening, if anybody has experience with like nonprofits or groups, hobby groups and that type of stuff, things you don't get paid for doing, there comes a time where people just can't go any further, right? And so you always, it's for one reason or another. It can be like anything, right? It could be, it's just too much time. It could be too much cost. It could be whatever. But you end up with these cycles like you've seen it already, right? There's a lot of people that you don't see around now, in the last 4 years. I don't know what'll happen with Fast, and I don't want to presume we won't be around, but there's likely a bunch of people that are around right now that are going to be around in 4 years, right? Because you're going to see a cycling of people through. It'd be different like if these things were like high paid like things that we do, but most of us aren't. So anyways, coming back to this in the moment, thank you. Yes, of course. Thank you for RH Max and Maddie for doing the conferences. I mean, I think I have the capability of doing it. Fast probably has the capability of doing it. This is not something I want to do. I don't want
No,
to do it.
I've seen the inside of those
So,
things, and influencers are crazy people. So like hurting like
mm,
50 influencers to show up on time, that is worse than hurting cats. I want no part of it. I'll show up, but yeah, somebody else can organize it.
yeah, exactly. That's how I'm feeling. So I do appreciate that from those guys too. Oh, Johnny Cass is saying, ironically, people are not aware there are things to do with your tokens other than buy and sell. Yeah. Well, the LP thing is one of the ways, right? Of course, and staking is another. I don't have the information for you guys right now that I can share in any detail, but we talked about it last week. We have a new staking protocol that just showed up where any token can be staked, right? And that's being implemented. Didn't you have a call today talking about that fast? Was that yours? Was that your show?
About LPX?
No, about
Oh, sorry,
staking.
about Unity. Yeah.
Yeah, about Unity. So
Yeah,
that's
with
coming.
cryptographics. Yeah, we talked
Yeah.
cryptographics about Unity. It sounded interesting. Everybody should do their own research. I think cryptographics is legit. So the site is unity.win. It is not live yet. He launched a similar thing on Ethereum called Taurus that was part of the Titan X community. And now this is the Pulse Chain version, mostly using PulseX. So basically you can, trade your PulseX for, I don't want to say trade. You can put some PulseX in to get the Unity token, and there's various staking things and inflation things, and there's going to be winners and losers, and it won't be boring. That's what I think. Should you do it? Do your own research. But I think Cryptographics is a stand-up guy, and he's doing the best he can, and he's already had some success on Ethereum. So take a look.
Yeah, I like him. I do. I mean, I'm not into Titan X or any of that stuff. It never was, but it doesn't mean I don't like some of these people have been around, and I like his communication style.
Yep. He
But
did a
I
good
agree.
job with Icosa and things like that. He did a lot of great informational streams in the early days. So, and he's still here. So, I'm gonna look at things he builds. And he face on the screen, fellow Canadian. You're like, yeah,
Hold on. Oh, we have 555 viewers. There we go.
whoa,
That's real. Sorry to
clip
interrupt
that,
you.
clip
You got it.
that.
Woohoo! 555. Yeah. I agree with you. I think it's a good call. So we're being a little bit more liberal in terms of what we talk about on here when we've been doing this show, as we are talking about all this new stuff, because it's like all this hot off the press stuff, right? But that is not a replacement for due diligence, guys. Not a replacement for due diligence. And yes, I know Richard says don't talk about anything but X, Y, and Z because you can't guarantee things, and I get that. But if there are things that are out there that you can go research, right? Anyways, I know there's that protocol. There's more protocols coming, right? I mean, I want to do a couple more streams on some of the things that are out there involving HEX, like Steakhouse, right? Haven't even got a chance really to talk about Steakhouse yet. And then there's another thing. Ben's going to launch, developer Ben is going to be launching an add-on to LHEX, Liquid HEX, right?
To LHEX.
So
What is LHEX?
It's you ever heard of Liquid HEX?
I haven't.
It was a project that was developed to reward stakers that never emergency end staked HEX.
Okay.
And they were able to go print Liquid HEX. So there's like a certain number of tokens that they can go mint based on their stakes and that type of stuff. But just another reward token protocol that's out there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Things like that are zero risk to the users in terms of their, like Hedron, for example. You could claim your Hedron. You didn't have to cancel your hex stake or anything like that. Like, there's not a big downside. Whether it works or not is up for grabs. But extra is extra, or calm, right? Like, calm doesn't require you to take any particular risks in order to be able to claim that. You just have to know how it works, right? It's not a bad thing.
Yep. I'm with you on that. Well, of course, I think that's why I'm there. I'm talking about, you get some fan people. I was going to call them fanboys, but fanboys and girls. Thanks for all the streaming fast. You show up everywhere fast. I love you fast.
We don't know he loves me. He might. Well, maybe that guy does.
Fast as a champion.
He could be complaining that I show up everywhere.
And then RH Max Quattro Cinco. Yeah, I like that. Hey, Wildcat 10x the 555. Yeah, we could do that. Or an 8x, we could do that too, guys. All right. Oh, I interrupted you. I'm sorry. Probably crushed your train of thought. What are you thinking there, Fast?
Well, I'm thinking let's move on to the next topic. Something
meme
really
coins.
exciting.
Meme coins.
Meme coin debate.
Yeah, I guess
on RH Max, I presume.
RH Max tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know what the debate's going to be about. Like meme coin good, meme coin bad. My meme coin better than your meme. I don't know. What's the debate?
Well, who's he debating with is the question.
Yes. Who will you be debating with? Well, you know what? I personally believe meme coins are great. Not necessarily as investments, but I think they're great for chains.
Well, the pump tires one, it burns pulse whenever people launch something there. We end up with a deflationary pulse.
You know what the problem is with people that I think that get bent out of shape over the meme coin thing is they haven't progressed or regressed enough that they're willing to buy and then sell on somebody's head. I think that's what the problem is, because it's essentially that's how it's built, right? That's what it's built for. And not always. There's edge cases. Sometimes people will come in and support and then just try and bring something up further. But You know, I don't know. I saw some of this crypto solve posts on X, and I've been looking at some of the pump tire stuff. Yeah, there's quite a few there. You know, that's it, up and down. They get launched and
Yep.
they're out. You know, and so yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
All right,
look at
let's.
like Pump Dot Tires versus what's the Solana one again? Pump Dot Fun. I suspect the success ratio is probably higher on Pump Dot Tires, or the rug ratio anyway. But it is like it's a
The rug.
risky concept.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot more volume in dollars and whatnot that have gone through pump that tires. You know, excuse me, pump that when not, or is it pump that when? What is it? Pump that. What is the one on Solana?
Pump Dot Fun.
Pump that fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Got
I
too
think
many.
they do more volume.
I
Like
got too
that's
many
the
different kinds
thing
of
in my head.
pumps on my mind. But anyways, yeah.
Just pump it.
So yeah, pump it up. The yeah, pump that fire tires. I'm getting tired, I guess. But Pump That Tires has had pretty good volume, as we talked about before, right? So
For
yeah,
sure.
I think, and it provides a utility for those people who really want that to try that and try their hand at it. I have seen some people do really well, right?
Yep.
But I do know that somebody put value in and somebody took it out, and it's probably not the same people at the same level, right? So.
True.
So it's kind of like a gambling thing to follow that stuff up. I see SMO Spider talking about the calm. Come at me, bro. Come at me. Yeah, Calm's been doing pretty good. I haven't checked the chart today to see what, but it's been tracking pretty good, near all-time highs against HEX and against Pulse.
Nice.
Now, Communis, which is the Calm token, is that one that people who do this native staking of HEX, they get this token as a reward for long stakes that they put on the ladder. So like you don't get a reward unless you go 180 days or more, and you get more rewards if you go out a year or more. And of course, if you do Quattro Cinco, you get even more rewards. But that token's been going pretty good. I've been watching the coupon rate, which is basically when you go do a new stake, like a Quattro Cinco, how much do you get back? And it's been running like 8% in value. So like $100 stake would give you $8 worth of calm immediately. And then you can go buy more HEX with it, or whatever, or stake it, if you're interested in participating in that longer. So that's been going pretty good. I've been watching that.
Yeah, the concept that if the price went high enough on that, you could basically get paid to make a stake is pretty cool.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, if it goes up to 100%, damn. For that period of time, you get 100% at that moment in time.
Yeah.
So RH
With
is saying
Axis to this a live token, right? Which was kind of the same concept for Axis. You could stake your Axis and get a live, and it got pretty close to that 100% ratio.
Oh, it did a
in the
couple
very
weeks ago
early
too.
days.
Oh, it
Really?
did a couple weeks ago. It was
Wow.
like 88% or something, right?
Yeah.
Because it varies. And so how it's working, I think you just said it, but people, what ends up happening is the amount that you're getting for a reward, because it's built on the comm system, the same type of technology.
Same thing basically.
The amount of reward that you're getting immediately, never mind the stuff that's locked up, is sometimes 50, 60, 100% of value. And so then people, what they're doing is they're taking and they're burning their Axis token, half of their Axis token, and they're sending some of it out into the future. And then the other half, they get a certain amount of a live token, and then they can go ahead and sell it right then. So that I've been watching that. It's kind of like a way to kick the can into the future for value. Max is saying, hey, 10th debate. Let's go and see if Duke, I don't know who Duke is. Is it Duke of Booze? See if Duke will convince me to do meme coin. So I'll definitely watch it. I think you should do a meme coin. I mean, meme coins.
I'd be very surprised if Max did a meme coin, honestly.
Yeah. I've been involved in a couple of meme coins.
I've done
technically, you just say my token's a meme coin. I mean, if something doesn't have planned utility, what is it?
But meme coins can make a journey into store of value. I think that's kind of the ultimate goal, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess they're built for hype for sure. What else we got? RH Max. Let's see. We got anything else out here? How you guys doing in the chat? Pump up the gym. Believe in myself. Yeah, we're meme coins on pump tires is a great idea. Yeah, that might be a little bit that irony that they've been out since February. We're just catching up with that. SMO Spider 100% rebuild is the goal. Yeah, 100%. This is for the calm. Try to get there. Ultimately, it's going that way. I give you one more tidbit on that. All right. So looking at the confusion and that rebate thing. So the way it works right now is, so this is what's crazy about this stuff, right? So I can envision a potential world in the future. I don't know if it'd play out exactly like this, but that people who stake HEX would never sell HEX again, right? And so the idea behind that would be that they get so many rewards in other ways that they never have to sell the HEX. They just sell whatever the residuals are, right?
Yeah.
And so that's a common thought with the whole Hedron ICOSA too, right? You got my HSIs. Well, I guess in the case of getting ICOSA, I am burning my own. I'm getting rid of them.
Yeah, you lose your HEX in that case.
But for the
with
Hedron,
calm,
for
you
sure.
don't lose your HEX.
Yeah, but for the Hedron for sure. And the calm. Now, right now, if I'm not mistaken, right now, if you had a quad, which is 1,000 trillion, which is a lot, right? Of calm staked, I think it's paying dollar wise about $2,000 USD a year, right? And so that's kind of like, for somebody, so you just have to understand, you would have to have so much HEX, right, staked to have created that situation. Like you had to been really working at this. It's probably like dolphin level type stuff or something like that, right? Or shark level. And so initially you'd be like, wow, what the hell? Why would I even bother mess around with something that's only paying $2,000 a year because I stake my calm and I get rewards or something. But at 10x, are you interested when it's 20K? How about at 100x calm price, right? You interested when it's 200,000 a year? How high does it have to go where you don't do anything with your HEX other than to restake it? And that's like this cheat code kind of like infinite money printer type of thing, I guess. And I get that logically people are like, oh, that can never happen. I know, but it's crypto and I'm watching what's happening and see what's
crazy
happening.
Stuff happens.
Happens with these prices. Well, anyways, what do I want? 1000x calm. Let's go. We'll do that. This might be a good finishing topic for us. Evie's asking, did you guys talk about fintech buying ETH, making it treasuries, and how it will affect the OA wallet actions? Well, we didn't talk about it really, did we?
I don't know about that. Do you know about that?
Well, I think what you post up here, Yaveen, if you think it's something different. But I think just in general, the idea that the financial tech boys, right, are beginning to decide, hey, we need to have treasuries.
Oh, sure.
Well, and they're going to be ETH treasuries, and I don't have any ETH, so I got to go buy ETH to put the ETH in the treasury. And so it creates this national demand, this demand. And I think what I had seen today was like another, I forget which company it was, but like another declaration. I'm buying $20 billion worth of ETH, right? So they ain't making any more. So, that's going to have a positive effect.
Positive effect on, on the Richard sack bags, to be sure, right?
Yeah, so price goes up. I think breaking down the rest of it, I think a part of this does affect the potential of what might happen with the cycle. It'll factor somehow into whether the cycle is a short cycle or a long cycle. Like I heard some smart people talking about this today about, well, listen, it takes time for all these things to happen. And if things are going to take time, then it can't top in the next few months, right? But it could also be that it's going to take 4 years and things are going to top in the next few months because we'll see the effects in another 4 months, right? Or another 4 years afterwards. But because we just won't know until we see it start to play out. But I think initially any type of buying pressure by, of course, by the rumor type stuff that affects the price. Now, as far as what will the OA do and the actions based on it, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like
Uh,
the OAs can see the future and knew this was going to happen. Why else would he be sitting on so much ETH?
yeah, well, he or she or they were certainly
Yep.
speculating on the idea that ETH would go up. Now, I've always been in the camp that I thought it was a good risk-adjusted move. But look, Monday morning quarterback and people like, I went down for so long. Well, now it's back up. So if you didn't sell
Yeah.
the asset when it was down, does it really even matter? I guess nobody's really been complaining too much lately about how stupid he was, right? But then
No, no.
remember all this. You remember all the stupid posts. He's stupid.
So
What did
many.
he
But
do? He
he's
made the big mistake.
132 million in profit today. Like
Yeah,
it's literally 132 million profit on that ETH at the moment. So he
yeah.
doesn't look so stupid anymore.
Well, and again, it comes down to because like I can talk about some of this stuff, but I'm not slinging money around like this. I can't really tell you from experience, right? I could pretend, like I said before, fake it till you make it. I could pretend I know all about what it's like to move 150 million, 200 million in a clip, but I don't really. I really don't, right? So then, okay, so I don't know what he was thinking at the time, but probably some risk-adjusted move because he wanted to get into ETH without getting cornered out of it. Maybe that's why we ended up in that situation. I don't know, but it's all water under the bridge now. Price is up at 4,500.
Yeah.
Probably going to go up. Probably going to go up, and we'll be watching that climbing amount. But now, what does that mean? What do they actually do with it? I don't know.
We will see. I have a couple ideas if they're not sure what to do with it, I could direct them.
Yeah, Cotton, I love you, man. It's exactly the kind of question I have. Why do large buyers announce they're going to buy, giving others a chance to front run them? In some cases, it's political, yeah, and then sometimes it's relationship, and uh,
Or
and
or they're
and
just trying to pump the price and then
yeah,
they don't buy.
yeah, or it could be that. There could be a bunch of different reasons, and then there's just like the regular answer, like it's a dumbass, right? It's like I put myself probably more in that category. I'd be like, I gotta go buy a hex tomorrow, and somebody will pump the price up. But I'm not, it's like if I told you I won the Powerball and I'm gonna buy $1 million tomorrow, $1 million
Yeah,
worth,
yeah,
I'd really be
then I'll
pretty,
front run
pretty
you for
silly.
sure. But you putting in your $600, I'm less concerned about.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Pip Shinobi, don't say that. You're gonna make some people's minds blow up saying that. But I'll post it up anyways. Let's blow some minds. Pip saying which I assume we're talking about the OA. Probably going to hold because that's what he usually does, and he's going to teach us something. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, like I know we've talked about this a couple times. I'm not a believer in like there's going to be a complete rotation of all assets. I just think that's not. But I don't know either, right? So I have to allow for the fact that it could be a complete rotation, but just don't feel like that's the right move. But I bet you we're going to feel like we got learned out of all this. I'm sure we'll have another tweet that we can pull up at the end and be able to say, see, here it is. All right. What would you like to close out on, buddy? What do you think?
Well, we've talked about dancing, we've talked about sausages. Let's close out on going to the conferences this weekend. Check it out, Pulse
Yeah,
Chain
yeah, check them.
conferences
Yeah, go check them out. You know,
starting
um,
Friday.
I know some people like, yeah, whatever, have mixed feelings about this stuff, but they're the people that are speaking are speaking about the pulse chain, speaking about the hex, and I guess it's not a conference next week. It's more like just like a series of events, but
That's right.
the people could use the support. So I think You know?
Totally. And I'm not really sympathetic to people who like don't support this person or don't support that person. Like it's bull market time, guys. Like pull it together, press the share button. You know, it's not about who you like at the moment. It's about, you know, working together to get the word out about the chain that we like. So you know, if you're already on Pulse Chain, you know, you don't have to watch the conference, just press the share button, do your part.
Hey, hey. All right. Well, with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and close this one out. We've been doing a good hour and 20. I didn't think we'd make it this far. There's just so much we really could be talking about, you know, but yeah. So you guys remember, don't let your emotions get you too bad. Stay crispy. Try not to watch the charts all the time when you're out there. And we plan to, we'll figure it out schedule wise. We plan to come back next week. Plan to.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the conference days look like next week, or not conference, the Hex week with RH Max. We don't want to
We'll
go
get
over
some.
top of them.
We'll get something scheduled. But there's always
Yeah,
replay again. So you guys
all
on
right.
Pulse Chain and all you new guys and ladies, welcome. And we'll see you the next time. And we're out. Maybe we're out. I'll push the outro.